How you doing? It's your boy BrogiNaric back again with another review. And in this video, I'm going to be reviewing Zack Snyder's The Army of the Dead, which recently dropped on Netflix. It's a Netflix exclusive from that man, Zack Snyder. But before I get into the video, don't forget to give this a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. We're still growing, so thanks for doing that. So The Army of the Dead is Zack Snyder's newest movie since his previous smash hit, Zack Snyder's Justice League. So there's a lot of hype about this because this is his first original movie that he's done since I think Sucker Punch was the last one. Because every other movie he's done has been some sort of adaptation of something. So this was his original idea, his from the mind of Zack Snyder, and it's going to Netflix. He's got an exclusive contract with Netflix. This is going to be a movie. I believe they're going to do a series, a spin-off movie, or a sequel. So there's a whole lot of world building that he wants to do with this property, Army of the Dead. And a lot of people were excited for it. I was excited for it because it's something original from Snyder. It's his own creation. It's horror related. He does really good at horror. He did the Dawn of the Dead remake, which I have not seen in a while. I've seen parts of it. I haven't really watched it from beginning to end, but the parts that I saw, I enjoyed. So I was really excited for this. The film focuses on, basically there's this group of mercenaries and soldiers who are hired to perform a heist to steal like $200 million in this casino's vault. Problem is, the casino is surrounded by a horde of zombies, and they have to fight through the zombies to get to the money and get it out, and then they can get a portion of that money. That's the basic synopsis of this film. Now, there's some positives and some negatives to this film, like with most things. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Zack Snyder's work. I do enjoy most of his stuff, but this movie is an interesting film. I would say I enjoyed a good portion of it. There's a certain point in the movie where things start to go off the rails and it starts to bug me. But there is a lot of stuff that is like the world building is there, but to me it's not the greatest. There's little hints to certain things. There's a lot of weird mystery. There's a lot of weird sort of potentially plot stuff that could come out later, but it's just minorly hinted, and it's kind of interesting. It might hook some people. Didn't quite work as well for me. Very interesting cast, though. Very big cast. You have your lead, Scott Ward, who's played by Dave Bautista. I love Dave Bautista. He's a great former wrestler turned actor. I would say he's the best wrestler turned actor out of all of them. And he plays Scott Ward, who's your main military guy. I didn't really care for his character. He was good, but when you learn more about him, you realize his character is kind of an idiot. I'll save that for spoilers. There will be spoilers later on, but he was okay. Another character, I'm going to go by my favorite characters and then some other characters. My favorite character out of this group was Marinee Peters, who was played by Tig Notaro, who's a comedian. Not familiar with her comedy. Her character is interesting because she was a last-minute replacement. She was replacing comedian Chris D'Elia. Chris D'Elia. I've seen him before. He was on that show Whitney. He got involved in some Me Too scandal stuff, so they had to replace her. And the interesting thing, most of her scenes, she's like CGI added into most of the scenes, and it's pretty seamless. Like Snyder and his squad did a very good job seamlessly inserting her into the movie, and she was my favorite character throughout the film. She's a comedian, so she ad-libbed a lot of her lines, and it was actually funny. That's a problem I have with this film. It is a kind of a zany comedy, but Zack Snyder's not good at comedy, and most of his jokes in this movie didn't work for me. There's like a few jokes that kind of work, and then most of them are just kind of whatever. But that's just me. This film does have a little bit of not a little bit, but there is some political commentary throughout this, with the reference of people being quarantined and sort of like an immigration type thinly veiled sort of stuff. It wasn't that strong. I didn't think it was all that great, but it is there. So, trigger warning, I guess. Another character that I liked in this movie was Lily, aka the Coyote, played by Nora Arnez-Zeter. Not familiar with her. She's French, I think. She plays French in this movie. She's like one of the Vegas locals who's like a badass, and she's kind of like their tour guide for the team once they get into the zombie area. She kind of knows, because of her experience, she kind of knows the ins and outs of the zombies. She was a cool character until, once again, towards the end, where she just started not making sense to me. Um, Amari Hardwick is in it. He plays something Vanderhold. They just call him Van. He's another military guy. He's fine. He just looks awesome, and he kind of talks like he's a 70s blaxploitation character, but it's fine. Who's another character in here? Oh yeah, Martin, played by Garrett Dillahunt. He's all. I just love this actor, and if you know what type of, as soon as you see him on the screen, you know he's going to be a scumbag, and he's a scumbag. He's like one of the security guards, or the head security guys for the dude that hires them. He goes on the mission, but he's fun. He's always fun, and he does his role well. Now, there's another character in the movie who I think is supposed to be the lighthearted comedy character. His name is Dieter, played by Mathis Schwegenhofer. He's a German actor. Not familiar with this actor. He's a good actor. His character, like I said, is supposed to be the comedy relief guy. I did not find him funny, like, at all. That's not entirely his fault, I don't think, because I don't think he's a comedian. I think it's just some of the material they gave him. It didn't work for me. I'm just saying. He had a lot of those. He's German. He's like he's a safe cracker. He's the one that's supposed to help him open the vaults. And he's wacky because he doesn't know how to use guns. He doesn't know how to fight, stuff like that. And it's just, it didn't really work for me. And some other people in the cast. But the worst character in this movie, by far, is Kate Ward, played by Ella Purnell. I'm not familiar with this actress. She's a good actress, but her character is the worst. She is Batista's daughter in this movie, and she's just a whining, annoying idiot. She's an idiot, but luckily the plot allows every dumb decision that she does to actually work out in the end, so good for her. But other than that, she's an idiot, and I'll leave that for spoilers, but I did not care for her character. And so those kind of the main cast, and then of course you have your antagonist, who is the head zombie. I'm not going to get too deep into him, but he's interesting. Also makes no sense. The thing about there's a bit of spoilers, but like the zombies in this film, they do not make sense to me. They're not really zombies. That's not necessarily a spoiler, but this, like, calling them zombies is not really what they are. Or at least that's a bad description of them. But they're smart. Some of them are super strong. Some of them, they have a weird civilization stuff. Like, they don't act like zombies. There's some other things about them that don't make them zombies, but they're zombies. So those positives. Let's talk about positives. I'm kind of rambling, but here's the positives. The opening credits is awesome. When this movie premiered like a couple weeks ago, a lot of people were saying that the opening credits is dope. It is. That's a highlight. Oh, another character I forgot. My bad. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Another character I forgot is the character of Chambers, played by Samantha Wynn. She is awesome. She has the second best scene in this movie. Chambers is one of the people that goes on the mission with them. She doesn't have a lot of talking points, but when she gets into this action sequence, is really good. One of the best in the film. So yeah, Chambers is dope. Opening credits, awesome. The special effects and the practical effects for the monsters and everything else, really good. The action's good when it happens. The cast is good. Snyder has this thing. He's the king of picking the most obvious song to be in the soundtrack to portray what is happening on screen. He is kind of annoying to some people. I don't mind it as much, but he is the king of that, and he does it with this soundtrack Very obvious songs that you would expect out of Elvis because it's Vegas. Any song that revolves around war and dying or being sad or zombies, you're gonna hear it in the movie. Um, so yeah, those are like the main positives I have for this film. Now the cons, there's the thing. It didn't bug me, but there's an artistic thing that Snyder does where a lot of scenes are out of focus. Like if the main person is here, everything behind them will be out of focus, or people off to the side might be all out of focus. It's his artistic reasoning for doing that. Snyder is a very artistic guy. I'm just happy there was no dumb color filter that made everything flat or pale looking or blue looking or sepia tone. None of that. Not too much. Not much of that. So kudos to that. The blur stuff didn't bother me as much. I think there's a story element kind of attached to it because I remember hearing an article he did it because he wanted the world to kind of seem like it's a dream, so it's a little misty and hazy. But I also think it's because of Tisa's character because he's not blind. He might as well be blind, but he has really bad eyesight, and I think that's also kind of a way to thematically show what he's seeing because he always has to wear these like tactical glasses and stuff. I guess. Another thing I didn't care for, certain story elements contradict itself. I'll get more into that in spoilers. Like I said, some of the political commentary was weak. And biggest problem, smart characters start acting like idiots because the plot needs them to. Once again, last 40 minutes. You know what? I'll leave that one alone because that's a bigger spoiler. But another thing is there's not enough world building and there's not enough explanation for things to make me care for the sequel. Probably already covered that, but that's just one of my problems with this film. But all in all, if you want to see some action, it's there. It's just not as much as I wanted it to be. But it is bloody and gory. There is action, but there's a good portion, damn near the whole hour. It's a 2 hour and two and a half hour movie. There's a good hour where there's not much action going on. It's kind of developing the characters, but like I said, the characters aren't that engaging to me that makes it worth it. And then once the big action does happen, all the characters I was trying to get into start acting dumb, and then that makes it worse for me. So yeah, with that being said, if I were to give Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead a grade, my grade would be a C plus or a 6.5 out of 10. Fine film. I wanted it to be higher, but as the film got closer to its conclusion, it kind of annoyed the shit out of me. I don't know why that is with Zack Snyder, his movies. I tried to like him, but for some reason, when he writes his movies, he was one of the main writers in this film. It just bugs the shit out of me. I don't know why that is. I tried to, because there are moments where like he's establishing things and then he contradicts those things, or it makes his character start acting dumb, and I'm like, why are you doing this? This is annoying. But hey, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's not the worst movie. It's a fine film to watch, but a lot of people are hyping it up like it's the greatest thing ever. It's really not, but it's a solid horror movie, solid zombie movie. Those are my non-spoilers thoughts on the film. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments, and if you want to, stick around for spoilers. Okay, Army of the Dead spoilers. Let's keep it positive. Opening scene, in the desert. So okay, so the guy's getting a blowjob, and then he crashes into the soldiers. Whatever. And the Zeus, the head zombie, he escapes from his containment and he takes out the zombies. And it is clearly established that he is super strong. He's very fast. He's not dumb. We also see that he is a former military because he's got like his dog tags around his neck. And we also established that once he bites you, it doesn't take long for you to turn into a zombie. It takes you probably about 5 minutes to 6 minutes, and you're a fucking zombie. This is established at the beginning of the movie. Okay, so cool sequence leads into the opening sequence where we got the Liberace impersonator singing "Viva Las Vegas," and you see it's kind of like a time jump of what's happened since the zombies, because it's near Vegas. They're leaving from Area 51. He goes to Vegas and then falls to shit. And I believe all the members of Batista's team lived in Vegas, and conveniently they all had their military gear just in case something were to go down. And you see them saving people. You see some random lady who's, I guess they call her, she's credited as soccer mom. I didn't know who she was. They don't explain who she is, but she's there being a badass. You get a little mini movie of her trying to save kids because I think her kid got killed or whatever. You kind of loosely introduced to the other characters. Dope sequence. You got showgirl zombies. You got Elvis impersonator zombies. You got Chippendale zombies. It's cool. Eventually, the government barricades Vegas with the shipping containers, and the random soccer mom lady doesn't make it. We're supposed to be emotional because this random lady we don't know just died in front of us, but whatever. And then it just jump cuts to time has passed, and this is another problem I have with some of Snyder's movies, where something will happen. This happened with Justice League, especially his version of the Snyder Cut, where Superman died and then time has passed, and now we're in Justice League. They don't expressly say how much time has passed. Has it been a year? Has it been a month? 2 years? 6 weeks? 2 weeks? We don't know. And they do this in this movie where we saw Batista as Soldier Guy. Literally the next scene we see him, he's working as a fry cook in some shitty restaurant, and what's his name? Tanaka, played by the guy that just played Scorpion in the new Mortal Kombat movie. Hiroku Sanada. Sanada. He pulls up and he's like, "Hey, I know you're tired of doing this job. You lost your job in the military. Why don't you lead this heist that I want to do? Because I own a bank. I got a vaults in Vegas, and I got like 500 million of untaxable money. You get a crew, get in there. I'll let you get 15 million, or I'll let you get 50 million. You split it up or something like that." And I'm like, wait, so how much time has it been? Because he talks about how he had his job in the military, but he got disgraced, and they don't really explain how long ago that was. I'm like, was that 2 weeks? Has it been a year since this has been going on? Has it been 2 years, 4 years, 5 years? We don't know. It's kind of annoying. So he gets the people that he worked with in Vegas, and it is funny when he's like, okay, him and the girl, they're gonna get 15. And everyone else that he asked the team will get less of the 50 split, which I thought was funny. So he gets the squad. We're introduced with his daughter Kate, who once again is played by Ella Purnell. Not familiar with her. I like her look. She reminds me of like a tan version of Emma Stone. She seems like a good actress, but her character is the fucking worst. So she's like a volunteer at the quarantine area for the people who survived Vegas. They got in quarantine, like literally right next to the wall of zombies is a small area that's quarantined for people in camps, which is like a political commentary on the people at the border in camps, because most of these people that we see are like Hispanic. So, and you got the is it TSA or the Border Patrol people kind of being assholes and keeping them, in bad conditions, and people want to get out of this. And his daughter Kate is a volunteer. I thought she was supposed to be like 21, but she's in her early 20s, but then I was confused. Maybe she's only 18. I don't fucking know, but she's there. She's close with this woman named Greta, this Hispanic lady. We got Theo Rossi's character, who I love. Theo Rossi, you might remember him from Luke Cage, Shades. He plays this security guy who's like an asshole and apparently a rapist, because that's what it's led to. But he's like abusing his power basically, and he's being rude to them and all of this. And I don't know why Theo Rossi has this is the second movie I've seen. He was in American Skin, where he's playing like a Mexican coon. Like he's always just shitting on Mexican people, even though he's Mexican. I don't know why he's picking these roles, but that's just his role in this movie. So we're introduced to the character Lily, aka the Coyote, who once again was one of my favorite characters until like that last 40 minutes where this shit goes off the rails. But she helps people sneak in, because people are like sneaking into the barricade to break into the casinos, break into the slot machines to try to grab some money, and stuff like that, which makes sense. That's believable. the government doesn't really give a shit if they break in or not, because if they get in, they die. One thing that I thought was odd, the Vegas is barricaded by shipping yards. They do establish that some of these zombies are super strong, and it's a lot of them. Maybe the zombies just didn't want to leave the area, but I thought it was weird that they just never got together and just pushed down one of the walls, because it's not like the most secure structure. It's a very shitty structure. They can easily break it down, but maybe they don't want to because it's their own little area. I don't know. But anyway, so, Batista gets the team. Then the daughter finds out that Greta's missing because Coyote took Greta in there but lost her. So she's like, well, dad, because her and her dad don't get along, which at first I'm like, I'm kind of intrigued. Like, why don't they get along? And then you find out that Batista killed her mom because her mom got infected and he had to kill her, which he decided to stab her as opposed to shoot her, which I think would have been quicker, but he wanted to get all intimate and like stab her in the head in front of his daughter. Weird. And then it's like, okay, I guess him and daughter are a little estranged because, he killed her mom and she feels a certain way. But of course, we find out that's not the case. She's mad, and this is why I don't like Batista's character, because he's an idiot. We find out that after he killed the mom, he just disappeared. Like it's a flashback. His daughter looks around the same age, so if she's like maybe 21, I guess she was maybe, I don't know, 18, 19 when this happened. And there's been some time since they've seen each other, and he's just like, "Yep, your mom's dead, deuces." And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And then it happens again with him and the other character. I think it's Maria, I want to say. She's like the chick that's on his team. She's like his right-hand person. They clearly have sort of a thing going on, and she admits to him, like, the only reason I joined this mission is because I thought we could kind of form a couple or something, because I really do care for you. And Batista's like, yeah, I figured that, but I figured I would fuck it up, so I just moved away and just didn't talk to you. I'm like, what? This guy's an idiot. Like, he's a fucking idiot. Like, he just, his answer to solve his problems is to not answer those problems. It's like, I don't even want to hear the problems. I'm just going to leave. I'm like, this guy's an idiot. And there's this run-on joke that is not funny. I don't give a fuck what everyone says. It's not funny. He's a chef. He wants to own his own food truck. And throughout at least twice, he keeps talking to his daughter. He's like, yeah, I want to do my own food truck. Maybe I should do vegan food, or no, I was thinking about doing artisan grilled cheese. Is that cool? I think the kids would like that, right? Artisan grilled cheese. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Then there's another moment later on where he's like, oh, I know what I should do. I should do tofu. That's healthy. People like tofu. I can do tofu burgers, and tofu fries, and tofu ice cream, and milkshakes, and tofu, what was the one? Tofu cheesecake. And I'm like, this is not funny. It's just not funny. Even before he dies, it's like, lobster rolls. I should do a truck about lobster rolls. Like, shut the fuck up. It's not funny. So the daughter's mad because he left her, which is understandable, but his daughter's still an idiot because she insists that she joins the team because they're going to go behind the barricade. She has no military training, no gun training. All she wants to do is potentially find this woman that she's friends with who might actually be dead. But like I said, luckily for the plot, she isn't dead, and she is right, but it was a dumb idea. So ultimately, because she threatens her dad, she's like, if you don't take me, I'm just going to go myself and I'll just die anyway. And it's like, you fucking idiot. So she's on the team. Then the other guy, what's his name? Martin. Here we go. So Martin is the security dude who's working for the Japanese guy. He's going on the team. You clearly know not to trust him because A, the actor who plays him, and B, why is this guy suspiciously on the team? So, and he's an asshole. He's like clearly an asshole. He's an asshole. But that leads to one of the best moments in the film where after they give the security dude, Theo Rossi's character, he ends up joining them because he was going to snitch or something. So they like, fuck it, come on, we could use an extra person. Coyote insists that he comes along, and she sets him up to be like a tribute because she knows they can't quite enter the place without giving the zombies some tribute. So he's the tribute. They take him away to their little area, and so now they're like, we can pass, but we shouldn't like be all up in their shit. So we got to sneak around. So we have to go through these buildings, and they come across these zombies. They're like hibernating, so they're just kind of standing like that, so they have to be quiet, but they can't shine light, they can't make noise. So they're like leaving some glow sticks so they can follow a path. Chambers, who, like I said, is like awesome, is with the security dude, and she's like, "I don't trust you," and he's like, "Well, I don't trust you either." So they're going through. He's a little bit ahead of her, and he takes one of the glow sticks and throws it in a different direction to make her go off the path. So they're going. She's off the path, and she kind of like gets surrounded, and she accidentally bumps into one of the zombies. They start to wake up, and she's like slowly trying to kill as many as she can, stabbing them before they wake up. One of them she stabs, and she kind of lays down on on this rack. So as she's still slowly going through, that zombie's hand is like on some pots and pans, and it slips, knocks down some pots and pans. All the zombies start to wake up, so everyone's now got to shoot their way out. She's got to fight her way out. She's off to her own. The others are basically out of the room, but there's still more zombies coming. So they're fighting. She's fighting for her life. She gets close to the door, but the guy, the security guy, locks the door on her, and her guns. She's out of ammo at that moment, and so her partner was he was like this YouTuber who likes to shoot zombies. He's on the team, and he's like, "Where's Chambers?" And the guy's like, "I don't know. She got lost." Da, da, da. And he's like, "Oh, you set her up." Da da da. So then she bursts out, and there's like a fire. There's an explosion. She's still fighting. It was really good. It's a really dope scene. She's fighting for her life, and then she's getting surrounded. I have some problems. Her partner is there. He sees her. There's barely any zombies around her. But he doesn't start shooting. He's just yelling at her. It's like, dude, shoot the zombies so she can get away. But no, he doesn't do that because story. So she's fighting. She's getting away. But then she realizes, like, she tells him to run. Don't save me. Now, she has ample time before she gets bit to be like, don't worry about me. Get out of here. By the way, don't trust the security guy. He set me up. But she doesn't say this because story. So she gets eaten. One of the best scenes. Second best scene in the movie. Awesome sequence. If you don't watch the movie, at least check that scene out because it's dope as shit. So then it kind of dies down. It's back to them talking and searching, and they get to the casino. There's a whole bit where they gotta open up the vault, but there's like a booby traps. So Mario Hardwick's character comes up with the idea. Somehow he just randomly realizes that the zombies are attracted to heat. It's a whole thing where he heats up one of the zombies' hand in the microwave and uses it as bait for the zombie to walk through the booby traps to set them off so they can then freely walk through it. That does not come back in the story at all. I thought it would have, about heat and them being attracted to it. Doesn't affect the story at any point after that, but whatever. Security guys working with Coyote, they attract the queen, who is the main zombies, Zeus, the one that started it all, that escaped. He's now, okay, so he's the leader of the zombies. He's the alpha. And he dresses up like Zeus because when he took over Vegas, he saw the statue at the Olympus hotel. I'm not sure if that's an actual hotel, but he was inspired by Zeus. Also, Zack Snyder loves mythology, and he loves that look of the person with a cape and spear, just like he did with Leonidas, and he also did with Batman. He just likes that look. He gave it to this guy. So he's head zombie. He has his queen. They attract her. They capture her. Coyote's helping him because they made a deal, which makes no fucking sense, but they made a deal. But he was supposed to get a blood sample, but instead of getting a blood sample, he cuts off her head and takes her head, and she's like, "Whoa, that was not what we expected. I don't know why I would trust you, random guy who's clearly gonna fuck me over at some point, but I'm surprised you fucked me over right here. This is kind of weird." And he's like, I altered the deal, make sure I don't alter it further. Darth Vader shit. So anyway, so Zeus is now like, wait a second, he just heard his wife screaming, so he's pissed. He checks it out, and he sees her body, takes the body back to his squad, and he rips open her stomach, and apparently she was pregnant. So this is why I don't like these things. They're not zombies. They're super beings. Nothing about them is necessarily zombie. Why? They're super strong. They're super fast. They're smart. They can dodge and actually fight a little bit. their hair grows because when you first see Zeus, he has short hair. Time has passed to the point where now his hair is long. He's a zombie. His hair shouldn't be growing. And B, no, not B, but the other thing that makes no fucking sense, or which is weird, is Zeus is smart enough to not only dress like Zeus, he makes a spear. He also has a fucking like face mask, right? He wears like a metal face mask that is conveniently molded for his head. It's got a mouthpiece so he can still bite, and it's got big eye holes that he can see through. Not only that, it has straps on it. So I'm like, how much of a zombie is this guy? He's not a zombie. He's a superhuman. He's just a little. He can't really talk, but they can like screech or whatever. Not really a zombie. He's way too smart to be a fucking zombie. So anyway, oh, and he has a zombie horse for reasons. Uh, so he's upset because and they can reproduce. They can reproduce, so they can grow hair. They can reproduce because he's upset because they killed his queen. She had a little zombie baby, so he's pissed. So he sends his troops to go attack the casino where those guys are located. So they open the vault. The pilot is up on the roof trying to fix the old helicopter that was left there so they can escape, but it's wrecked. So she's doing all she can to fix it up. So they get some money. They open the vault. German guy opens the vault after he wigs out. Oh, I forgot to mention. There's a nuke that's supposed to blow up Vegas in like a day and a half, and so they have a bunch of time. But when they're close to getting the vault, Congress decided that hey, blowing up the Vegas with a nuke on Vegas would seem a little disrespectful. So the president is a little upset, but instead of blowing it up on 4th of July, he pushes it up 24 hours. So now the crew only has like 90 minutes to get out of there before it's blown up with a nuke. And they do express that the nuke is like a smaller nuke, doesn't have a lot of radiation, but it's still a fucking nuclear bomb. That was one of the few funny political jokes in the movie where the president is like, he's upset that they don't want to do it on 4th of July. It would have been kind of cool. And if you think about it, it's actually pretty patriotic. I thought that was funny. Also, I think it was aimed at a certain president. But anyway, so now the clock is up. They got to get the money, get the fuck out of there. They get the money. Everybody's happy to get the money. They're so happy. And this, Batista's the chick tells Batista she's in love with him. And of course, after she does that, the zombies break in, and the zombie, instead of being a zombie and just biting her, this zombie is smart enough to just snap her neck. Just snaps her neck. Doesn't even bother biting her. Just snaps her neck because that's what zombies do. So she's dead. They get to shooting. They're trying to get out of there. I think a little bit in the gunfire, Batista realizes his daughter is no longer in the building. So he's like, fuck, I gotta go save her. Security guy betrays them because he has the security badge. She unlocks the hatch. Although there was a scene beforehand where the daughter and Batista already like secured the hatch so it wouldn't lock on them. But for some reason now the hatch is locked. I don't know what happened there. That made no sense. Like there was a scene where that was one of those scenes where he was talking about the tofu, and she took one of the dead bodies to block the gate so it wouldn't close. But now the gate has closed, and only the guy with the security card could open it. That didn't make sense to me. So he leaves. They're trapped. Coyote's trying to cut through the stone with the buzzsaw, and they're getting out of there. Then we get to one of the dumbest scenes in the fucking movie. So, German guy and Amari Hardwick's character, they form the bond because he's wacky and he's a tough guy, and they're just bonding. And they're going back for the money. Zeus walks in. No, a bunch of zombies run in. They're shooting the zombies. Then Zeus walks in. He's got his face mask on. So you would think a guy who's an engineer who's smart and a guy who's also an engineer and a fucking marksman in the military, after about maybe 2 or 3 shots at the fucking face mask and nothing has happened, you would shoot anywhere else on this fucking thing's body. But no, they just keep shooting at his fucking head because the movie goes out of its way to be like, hey, in order to kill these things, you just got to take their heads out. That's all you got to do. Just take out their heads and that's all. And that's what everyone does until this point. He has a bulletproof mask on. Stop wasting your bullets and shooting him in the head. Shoot him in the knees. shoot him in the shoulders, shoot him in the chest. He should die because his hair still grows and he can reproduce life. So I'm assuming his heart is working normally too. Just shoot him in the heart. That might slow him down. But anyway, they're shooting. Conveniently, they run out of bullets. Then the friggin' zombie Zeus takes off his face mask. And I think he throws down his spear or whatever. This is Zeus, Amari Hardwick, and the German guy. And for some reason, Amari Hardwick pets his gun down and just takes his gear off. And he tries to box a zombie that he knows has super strength and super speed. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna handle this. And he tries to box this zombie, and the zombie once again has super strength, super speed, just beats his ass, just throws him in the wall. German dude, nowhere to be seen. He's just nowhere to be seen at this point. The others are trying to get out of the building. They're shooting and all of that. Mark's getting his ass beat, and then the German guy runs up and smacks the zombie in the back of the head with the gun. And then he pushes Amari Hardwick in the vault and closes the vault. Instead of closing him and himself and Amari Hardwick in the vault, he shuts it. He gets taken out. Problem. Why did he not shoot the zombie in the head? Now, I guess they both were out of bullets. I'll give him that. But earlier in the movie, they established that Amari Hardwick, when they were getting their gear, Amari Hardwick gave him a knife. And it was like a bonding moment because he has a knife and he doesn't know how to attach his knife to his gear. I thought at that point, the knife. He was going to take out the knife, stab the zombie in the back of the head. That did not happen because the characters now have to act dumb as opposed to what was already established. So he ends up dead. Amari Hardwick's in the vault. The others are fighting. We get a moment where the dude, Guzman, he shoots a zombie. Now, this was another thing. He shoots a zombie. They establish when the zombies get shot in the head, their heads explode. But this one particular zombie, when he got shot in the head, he had a metal-looking skull underneath the flesh. And I'm like, are they cyborgs? What's going on here? Guess what? The movie doesn't bother to explain it. Maybe it was just an Easter egg shot. I don't know. But it was quicker. It was there on the screen enough where you notice. Because the zombies have like some blue shit in their head. But when this zombie got shot, it looked like it was electricity. And his eye was going. He looked like a Terminator. And I'm like, And that's another thing. I didn't think there was actually money in the vault. I thought there was going to be no money in the vault. But there was money. So that twist didn't happen. But I thought that was odd too. Does it go anywhere? No, it doesn't. Another thing that this movie does that annoyed the shit out of me. When they were trying to get into the vault, they noticed a group of bodies are off to the side. Basically wearing their same outfits, but they're burned. They find out that there was another group that had entered the building. Same blueprints and everything, but they had failed. And Amari Hardwick's character just randomly is like, oh, that's clearly us. It's us from an alternate timeline because we're clearly stuck in a loop of fighting and death. Those guys failed, and we're here now. Because he points out those bodies are wearing the same clothing that we're wearing, and they are, but they're burned. And I'm like, okay, so is this now some weird multiverse loop bullshit as well? Guess what? The movie doesn't explain it. Okay, but it's just thrown out there. Another thing that's also thrown out there, they were leaving from Area 51 with the zombie. Is it alien related? We don't know. The movie doesn't tell us. So keep that in mind. So they're escaping. Guzman gets shot, so it's just Batista and Lily. They get to the roof. Fucking security guard guy thinks he still has the head, but he doesn't. Lily swaps it with the money counter, so he gets his ass eaten by the zombie tiger, which was pretty brutal. I'll give it that. So they're on the roof. They're about to leave in the helicopter. Zeus is there, so Lily pulls out the queen's head, has a gun to it. She's like, hey, stay there, or I'm going to kill her. And so Zeus is kind of at bay. She tells Batista to get in the helicopter. She mentions that she made a deal with Martin, who's the security guard. She made a deal with him that if she helped him, he would help get the people out of the camps. Problem. People were already evacuating from this particular camp. I guess they were going to another camp. But why would she think this random security guard guy would have any authority to help free those people from the camps? Granted, he works for a powerful businessman. This businessman is Japanese. He's not American. I don't know how much sway he has over this American, the American government, even though he's working with them. So I don't know why she thought making a deal with the low level guy would then convince the higher level guy to actually do what the low level guy said he promised would happen. So that doesn't make sense. Also, once again, he's Japanese. I don't know how much sway he has over the American government. Also, she doesn't know who Tanaka is, as far as I know. Or maybe she does because she lives in Vegas. I'll take that one back. But still, that idea, that logic made no sense. Other problem, she's holding the head. She's telling Batista to get in the helicopter, and she's like walking away. I don't know what her plan was because she knows a nuke's coming. She knows the helicopter is the only way to get out of here, but she doesn't get on the helicopter. So she's telling Batista and the pilot to get out of here. She looks away. Zeus takes a spear, throws it, stabs her. She's stabbed, so then she drops the head off the building. Zeus freaks out. He tries to go get the head. They fly away. He's pissed. Problem. Why did she not just take the head, hold it hostage, get on the helicopter, and then just chuck the head in a different direction? Because he's clearly attached to the head. It's like waving in his face. Throw it over there. He goes over there. We fly out. It's not that hard. But she sacrificed herself because smart characters have to act dumb because the plot needs them to. So they're in the helicopter. He tells the lady, hey, can you take me to the other hotel? Because that's where my daughter is. I got to go save her. So she's like, fine, we'll go to that place. So they're flying in a helicopter. Zeus is on top of this like 30-story building. Last we saw him. Literally, the next scene, he's back on his zombie horse and beats them to the other place before the helicopter gets there. The fucking zombie horse. Maybe it's an alpha zombie horse. I don't know. But it beats a helicopter to the next destination. Okay. So, luckily, the daughter's there. She runs into the lady she was there to save. The other two women are dead because they don't matter. But her and Greta are still alive. They're fighting zombies. Zeus, like I said, once again beats them there. He's pulling up on them. Batista comes in and saves them. Shoots a rocket, but he misses. I was a little mad at first, but then I realized he didn't have his glasses because he's fucking blind. So that happens. They get in the helicopter. Oh, no, they get on the roof. The helicopter's not there. Lady came back to save them. They got like 2 minutes before shit explodes. So they get in the helicopter. Zeus is there. They dive off. He dumps into the helicopter. They're fighting in the helicopter. Batista is so blind. His character is so blind in this movie. He could not shoot a target that is literally 1.5 feet away from him. He's shooting in the helicopter, just missing. Just missing. He's 1.5 feet away from him. Just missing. Shoots the pilot in the shoulder because he couldn't control it. Drops the gun. They're fighting. The daughter says something, and he conveniently can see the gun on the ground because even though that's also 1.5 feet away from him, he can see the gun, picks up the gun, shoots Zeus in the head. The nukes hits, explosion, they kind of caught in the yield of the explosion. Helicopter crashes. Oh, he also got bit in the shoulder. Pilot's dead. Daughter's still alive. Batista's still kind of alive. She's talking to the dad, and that's when he mentions the dumb shit about lobster rolls. He's starting to transform. She doesn't want to kill him, but she does. She kills him. End of the movie. Oh, wait. Goes to black, cuts back on. Hey, look at this. Omari Hardwick somehow survived the nuclear explosion in Vegas. How did he do it? Who knows? He's still alive. He's got all the money because everyone else couldn't really get the money. He's got the majority of the money. He survived the nuclear explosion in the building, in the vault. I guess he left the vault and was in the sewers. I don't know. He survived the nuclear explosion. Also, he walks from the explosion into the desert, steals a car, drives to some fucking private plane rental place. It might have been established early in the movie. I don't fucking remember. He goes, takes some of the money to rent a plane. Granted, he just left from a nuclear explosion site. How is he not dead from radiation poisoning? He should be dead. He should be coughing up blood, but he's not because he's a badass. So anyway, he's on the plane, having a toast with some stewardess. Then he starts coughing. You know where this is going. He goes into the bathroom. He's looking real sickly. Looks at his fucking tricep, and there's a giant bite mark on his fucking tricep. How the fuck did he not feel that from walking out of the explosion site to walking to the car to walking to driving to the airplane place to getting on the airplane. How did he not feel this gigantic bite mark on his arm? Because the movie needs it to be. So he's like, oh fuck. And he knows he's going to turn into a zombie. They're heading to Mexico. We got a sequel, baby. So a fun character is alive and the worst character survived. I no, it just didn't work for me. I'm sorry. I know it worked for a lot of other people. Congratulations. I hope you support everything else that is tied to this universe because I'm done. I'm done. I can't do it. I heard they're going to be doing like some sort of German rom com that's tied to this. Snyder sucks with comedy, so I'm not the biggest rom com person, so I'm just gonna avoid that one. That doesn't sound good at all. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this movie. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Am I over analyzing it? Because these things were established and then it just let go, and then the things that they build to, they don't really answer. Like, so they needed a sample of the zombie. Like the heist made no sense. Like, why would you entice all of these people? You could just send in the military to get a sample. Like no person during that whole zombie wars, as they call it, not a single person thought to get a sample of one of the zombies while all the fighting was going on. They had to wait some time after it to send in some random military, like not even like active duty people to steal it that you don't really control. It didn't make sense, and like they didn't have a sample when they took him from Area 50. Like, am I supposed to believe that Area 51 didn't have a sample of the guy when they had him captured? Like, they just conveniently didn't bother to do any testing on him, and all the time they had him. So we have to get a sample after the fact. Is that the case? It like I said, it didn't work for me. Um, those are my thoughts on this movie. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Peace.